We are going to begin with the explanation of Chapter 1, first paragraph of Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. So, this story commences about 30 years ago when Miss Maria Ward, who was a resident of Huntingdon with only £7,000. Miss Maria Ward, who was a resident of Huntingdon, inherited only £7,000 and had the good luck to captivate Sir Thomas Bertram. Now, Sir Thomas Bertram was captivated by the beauty of Miss Maria Ward, and they in turn got married. So Sir Thomas Bertram was the baronet in Mansfield Park in the county of Northampton, and uh, and Miss Maria Ward was raised to the rank of a baronet's lady with all the comforts and consequences of a handsome house and a large income. So this story commences about 30 years ago when Miss Maria Ward, who was a resident of Huntingdon, had who had only £7,000, who inherited only £7,000, got married to Sir Thomas Bertram and thereby got raised to the rank of a baronet's lady. Miss Maria Ward, became a, a baronet's wife, and they had all the comforts and consequences of a handsome house and a large income. They had a large income, a handsome house, and they were bestowed with all comforts. All Huntingdon exclaimed on the greatness of the match, and her uncle, the lawyer himself, allowed her to be at least £3,000 short of any equitable claim to it. So all the Huntingdon folks, that is, the residents of Huntingdon, they exclaimed on the greatness of the match. She had two sisters to be benefited by her elevation, and such of their acquaintance as thought Miss Ward and Miss Frances quite as handsome as Miss Maria. Now this Miss Maria Ward, who became Mrs. Bertram, she had two sisters, and all the Huntingdon folks, they were of the view that her other two sisters are also going to raised to such a rank, uh, because they were just as handsome. They were as handsome as Miss Maria Ward. So, so, uh, so this story revolves around the happenings of Mansfield Park, and this Miss Maria Ward, who was a resident of Huntingdon, she got married to Thomas Bertram. She had two other sisters, and the residents of Huntingdon, they exclaimed on the greatness of the match, and they also predicted that her two sisters are also going to be benefited in terms of expanding their social standing by dint of their marriage to a similarly wealthy family. But there certainly are not so many men of large fortune in the world as there are pretty women to deserve them. But here Jane Austen says ironically that there are not as many of great fortune as there are beautiful ladies to deserve them. That is, the number of ladies who are beautiful is very large compared to men who have high fortune. Therefore, all ladies, those who are beautiful, cannot get married to households of such high stature. Miss Ward, at the end of half a dozen years, found herself obliged to be attached to the Reverend Mr. Norris, a friend of her brother-in-law with scarcely any private fortune, and Miss Frances fared even worse. Now, in those days, what happened? If a family had three sisters, the eldest one would be called Miss Ward, and the second and the third and the younger sisters would be called by their first names. Now, since this first sister got married, Miss Maria Ward, and became Mrs. Bertram, the second sister was now referred to as Miss Ward, and the third sister was referred by her first name, that is Miss Frances. Now Miss Ward at the end of half a dozen years. Now Miss Ward after 6 years, half a dozen years means 6 years, got attached to Reverend Mr. Norris. She got attached to Reverend Mr. Norris. She fell in love with Reverend Mr. Norris, who was a friend of her brother-in-law. This Mr. Norris was a friend of Sir Thomas Bertram. However, this Mr. Norris, he didn't have any private fortune. Now, but even though Mr. Norris didn't have any private fortune, this match was not as contemptible. This match was not as revolting as the marriage of the third sister. That is, Jane Austen says here that Miss Frances fared even worse. Miss Ward's match, indeed, when it came to the point, was not contemptible, Sir Thomas being able to give his friend an income in the living of Mansfield. Now, Miss Ward's match. The second sister's match was not as revolting, not as contemptible, was not as bad as the youngest sister's match. Why? Because Sir Thomas was able to give his friend, that is the husband of Miss Ward, uh, an income in the living of Mansfield. Now, Mr. Thomas Bertram was able to give his friend an income in the living, and Mr. and Mrs. Norris began their career of conjugal felicity with very little less than 1,000 a year. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Norris, they began a life of conjugal felicity. Conjugal felicity means marital happiness, marital bliss. So they began a life of marital bliss with a little less than 1,000 a year. So they earned a little less than 1,000 pounds per year, and they were happy. But Miss Frances married in common phrase to disoblige her family, and by fixing on a lieutenant of marines without education, fortune or connections, did it very thoroughly. Now the youngest sister, who was Miss Frances, she married the married she married to a person who was without education, fortune, or any connection. So her marriage brought a slur, brought a disgrace to her family. She could have made more. She could hardly have made a more untoward choice. She could hardly have made a worse choice. Sir Thomas Bertram had interests which, from principle as well as pride, from a general wish of doing right, and a desire of seeing all that were connected with him in situations of respectability, he would have been glad to exert for the advantage of Lady Bertram's sister, but her husband's profession was such as no interest could reach, and before he had time to devise any other method of assisting them, an absolute breach between the sisters had taken place. Now Sir Thomas Bertram had interests, which from principle and pride. Now people have principles, people have conscience, which they cling to. For instance, someone's principle can be that of helping a poor person. Someone's principle can be maybe such that he or she wants to keep his or her environment clean. So there are certain principles which people cling to. So Sir Thomas, he had a principle. What was his principle? From a general wish of doing right. So he did things which were right, which were conscientious. So uh, so uh, so So he had a general tendency to do right, and he had a second interest which arose from his pride, which was because he was a baronet. He held a dignified position. He has That's why he had a sense of pride. So from the sense of pride, he had the desire to see everyone to whom he was connected in a situation of respectability. So he wanted all his relations in situations of respectability. So these were his two interests. One arose from principle and another arose from pride. From his from his interest, he would have been glad to exert for the advantage of Lady Bertram's sister. So he would have been happy to extend help to Lady Bertram's sister in terms of her social standing, in terms of the income that her husband would be earning. But her husband's profession was such as no interest could reach. But her husband's profession was so bad that Sir Thomas Bertram could not help him. Before he had time to devise any other method of assisting them, an absolute breach between the sisters had taken place. And before Thomas Bertram had any other method of helping the sister, a breach, a feud, a fight between the sisters had taken place. It was the natural result of the conduct of each party, and such as a very imprudent marriage always produces. So Jane Austen says that it was the natural result of the way that each party behaved, and this is the result that an imprudent marriage always produces. To save herself from useless remonstrance, Miss Price never wrote to her family on the subject till actually married. Now we have a word here, remonstrance. Let us look up in the internet what it means. So remonstrance means a forcefully reproachful protest. To save herself from useless remonstrance, to save her from useless protest, Mrs. Price never wrote to her family on the subject till actually married. So to save herself from useless hassles, from useless resistance, Mrs. Price, the youngest sister, she never wrote to her family on the subject till actually married. That is, she first got married and then she decided to communicate to the family. Lady Bertram, who was a woman of very tranquil feelings and a temper remarkably easy and indolent, would have contented herself with merely giving up her sister and thinking no more of the matter. Now, Lady Bertram has been shown as a woman who was a woman of very tranquil feelings, very mild feelings, and very cold. Her nature was very cold, and she had a temper which was very easy and indolent. She would have felt contented. She would have felt satisfied by merely giving up her sister. It wouldn't have mattered much to her if she had given up her sister and thinking no more of the matter. But Mrs. Norris had a spirit of activity which could not be satisfied till she had written a long and angry letter to Fanny to point out the folly of her conduct and threaten her with all possible ill consequences. Now, as opposed to uh, Lady Bertram, her uh, her sister, Mrs. Norris, she had a spirit of activity. She was a very active person, and she had written a long and angry letter to the youngest sister, Fanny, to point out the folly of her conduct. And she wrote a letter to her younger sister, Fanny, in which she mentioned the folly, mentioned the imprudence of her conduct and threaten her with all possible ill consequences. Now, here one thing we have to take note of is that although Mrs. Bertram has been shown as a woman of very tranquil feelings. Her character is in no way negative. As the story progresses, we would see that Mrs. Norris's character tends uh, towards that of an antagonist, that of a negative character. But Mrs. Bertram, although she had mild, tranquil feelings, her disposition, uh, her tendency was not that of a negative character. Now Miss Price in her turn was injured and angry, and an answer which comprehended each sister in its bitterness, and bestowed such very disrespectful reflections on the pride of Sir Thomas and Mrs. Norris could not possibly keep to herself, put an end to all intercourse between them for a considerable period. Now, after Mrs. Norris had written a letter to her sister, younger sister Mrs. Price, and pointed out the folly of her conduct, uh, her her folly, her mistake. Mrs. Price the younger sister, Mrs. Price, was very injured and she was angry. And she wrote an answer. She replied to the letter in which she wrote about each sister bitterly. She was bitter to each of her sister, and she bestowed disrespectful reflections on the pride of Sir Thomas. So she was disrespectful to Sir Thomas as well. Uh, and Mrs. Norris could not possibly keep to herself. So Mrs. Norris here was offended as well, and she put an end to all the communication, all the intercourse between herself and her sister for a considerable period of time.